Moving forward in Pokemon Go, there's always that iffy point where it's like, what about these Pokemon? Are there going to be Pokemon that if you power up, will they become irrelevant and will they no longer be valuable because some other newer Pokemon becomes the strongest Pokemon in Pokemon Go? Well, today I'm going to go over and break down the top 12 bulletproof, future-proof, and budget Pokemon to power up in Pokemon Go to make sure that you stay on top of your game in many different aspects. And there are a couple Pokemon that do transfer different categories, which means if you power up that Pokemon, it can multi-function as different counters and in different spots. So let's start off with one of the categories. So let's start off with the ice category. If we look at the ice category, a budget counter in this regard is going to be Mamoswine. Mamoswine is going to come from Swinub. Swinub is absolutely everywhere. The moveset will be Powder Snow and Avalanche. And using this Pokemon as a regular Pokemon, you can spam trade them to get a lucky. Not only that, it's easy to get XL candy for this Pokemon. You don't actually have to pay for raiding these Pokemon, which is one of the biggest things that I'm looking for in this, even though I will recommend at the end a Pokemon that is a legendary that you will have to pay to get the XL candy for, but it is such a Swiss Army knife. I think you guys will probably guess what that Pokemon is, but I'm trying to go around doing that, and even with the shiny form, you can go ahead and use this Pokemon. This Pokemon also can be multi-purposed for a ground attacker. However, it is not the strongest ground attacker, which we will have coming up here on the list. The next category we're going to jump into is going to be water. Water category is going to be Swampert. Swampert had a Calm Day. It does have a shiny that's pretty prevalent. The moveset on this Pokemon will be a Calm Day moveset of Hydro Cannon. However, Shadow Swampert is really strong, but Mega Swampert is also a thing of the future. So this Pokemon is bulletproof because even if it does get trumped out by other Pokemon as a regular normal attacker, the only other Pokemon that could vie for its top, if it does get a signature move, is going to be Primal Kyogre, which will be an expensive Pokemon to get because you need to raid for it as opposed to just hunt it in the wild. One of the easiest ways to hunt some of these Pokemon in the wild is using a Mega Level 3 Pokemon typed out with the same typing. For instance, a Mega Level 3 Gyarados. That would be quite the easy way to hunt this Pokemon during an event or even a spotlight hour. The next category we're going to look at is going to be the grass category, and I'm going to give you two Pokemon here because why not? Number one is going to be Roserade. Roserade has Razor, Leaf, and Grass Knot combination. This Pokemon did have a Calm Day as Roselia, so there is a lot of potential for us to have XL candy. And at some point, there will be events with this Pokemon, and it's pretty easy to accommodate some of this candy. However, one of my favorite Pokemon is going to be Venusaur. It's not quite as strong as a regular Pokemon as is the Roserade. However, it does have a Shadow form and it does have a Mega form that is really effective. However, if we're looking at top grass attackers, the Sceptile in the Mega form is going to be very, very strong. So that is definitely something to keep on the forefront of our minds. Even though the Sceptile is not quite as strong as the Venusaur as a regular one, it's still really strong and stronger as a Mega. And the next category, we're going to look at the rock type attackers. We are looking at Rhyperior. Rhyperior with Smackdown and the Calm Day move of Rock Wrecker. The Rhyhorns are quite common. You can trade those and spam trade those. However, it will require a Calm Day move. However, this Pokemon is extremely strong and it can multi-purpose as a ground type attacker using Earthquake. So this Pokemon is a very, very easy to get and very strong rock type attacker, and it doesn't require, like I talked about, the pay for XL candy in raids. And let's not forget about one of the biggest Swiss Army knives in Pokemon Go is going to be Garchomp. Garchomp is going to be one of the top ground type attackers, actually the top ground type regular in the game right now with the moveset of Mudshot as well as Earth Power, which is going to be the Calm Day move. This Pokemon is incredibly powerful. It does have a Mega that is going to be coming out in the future, which makes it even more valuable because that Mega will be the top ground type attacker in the game until hopefully Primal Groudon does get a signature move that is going to make it stronger. But let's not stop there because this Pokemon also transitions into the Dragon category with a Dragon typing. It does get Outrage and Dragon Tail. It is one of the top meta Dragon attackers, and then the Mega Garchomp also serves dual typing because of its Dragon as well as ground type as one of the top Dragon Megas in the game as well. Obviously, it's competing with some heavy competition here, but man, this Pokemon being where it does sit and as strong as it is extremely valuable in Pokemon Go. And the crazy thing about right now is the Mega Garchomp is actually outranking Mega Rayquaza, which is crazy. I'm not sure if that's going to hold up, but as of right now, it is the third strongest Pokemon in the game behind Mega Mewtwo Y, Mega Mewtwo X, and then it goes Mega Garchomp, and then it goes Mega Rayquaza. So holy smokes, this Pokemon is an absolute boss and a must-have, and plus we did have Comday, so a lot of you guys should have extra XL candy, and there are plenty of Garchomps out there, especially in the shiny form, for lucky trades for you guys. And the next attacker that is pretty good in the electric category. The electric category is kind of one of those ones that's a little bit, I would say iffy, because there are Pokemon in here that are heavily based around legendaries and shadow Pokemon, which are all expensive to power up, but we do have Electivire in here. Shadow Electivire, very, very good. However, regular Electivire is pretty good as well. So you can use this Pokemon. It is going to be Thunder Shock and Wild Charge on this Pokemon as its top moveset. And then if we move into the fighting category, there are 3 Pokemon in here that are pretty good. However, there's one Pokemon that gets a lot more attention and is so much easier to get in Pokemon Go. When we are looking at Machamp, Machamp is Counter and Dynamic Punch, very easy to obtain, very easy to trade, and the shiny has been out. It has had a Calm Day, but it hasn't added to its fighting type. It has given it Payback, which is a dark type move. However, the other 2 Pokemon that are better but are not out yet, but if they do have Calm Days or become very prevalent, they will be better. It is going to be Conkeldurr from Timber, which I do think will have a Calm Day at some point. And then we have Riolu all the way into Lucario with Aura Sphere. So those 2 Pokemon will perform better, but there is Shadow Machamp out there that getting the Machamp candy can also contribute if you do decide to start powering up one of those at some point or another. And next, in the dark category, we are looking at the brand new Pokemon that got a bump in its move, which is going to be Hydreigon. With Bite and Brutal Swing on this Pokemon, it has become the 4th strongest dark type attacker, and above it are going to be Shadow and Mega Pokemon, which is really, really impressive. This Pokemon got extremely strong, and Dino obviously did have a Calm Day, so you can easily trade for this Pokemon. You can easily get shinies of this Pokemon, and you should have more than enough XL candy. And if not, these Pokemon that I have said are recent are going to come back for December, so you can use the appropriate Mega Level 3. Hint, hint, start getting your Pokemon to Mega Level 3 of any of these that you do need extra XL candy for, so that when the December wrap-up Calm Day does come about, you can go about them. And next, we have a Pokemon coming that's going to be in Calm Day in 2 weeks, which is going to be Litwick into Chandelure with Fire Spin and Overheat. This Pokemon is one of the top non-shadow, non-mega, non-legendary fire type attackers. However, I'm going to put one more Pokemon in here, and that's going to be Charizard, because with its Blast Burn, which is a Calm Day move, can be Mega Evolved all the way into Mega Charizard Y, which is the strongest fire type Pokemon in the game, even above Blaziken, because Blaziken, although with using a combined fighting and fire move, does technically have a higher DPS than times TDO, it is going to be outbeat by all fire typing by Mega Charizard. And next, I have a Pokemon that is going to be extremely cool. I like it a lot. It does have a future Mega. That is going to be Salamence. It does need the Calm Day move of Outrage. It has been in a Calm Day in the past, quite a long time ago, with Bagon. Really, really fun Calm Day. However, this Pokemon needs, like I said, Outrage, but it also will have a future Mega Pokemon, which keeps it as one of the top Dragon type attackers in the game. Even though Mega Rayquaza will be stronger than this Pokemon, it is not by like double or triple. This Pokemon is still viable, and as a Shadow Salamence, it is very strong as well. So this Pokemon in 3 different categories for all Dragon type attackers is really good. And then also this Pokemon does get a fire move if you so do desire to use this Pokemon as a dual typed fire Pokemon for its straight attacker purpose. And then we have 2 more categories that are out there. Number 1 is going to be steel typing, and this Pokemon is going to share a category with the top attacker that I told you I was going to recommend that is going to require extra XL candy for from paid purposes. So this Pokemon in the steel type category is going to be Metagross. The top 3 steel type attackers is going to be regular Metagross, then in spot number 2 is going to be Shadow Metagross, and then Mega Metagross is going to be number 1. So this Pokemon dominates. It does have a dual purpose of a psychic type attacker, so you could always have it all steel type. It does need the Calm Day move of Meteor Mash. That is going to make it the best steel type attacker out there, but then it also can get psychic, and since psychic did get a buff, it can have a dual purpose for this Pokemon to use it, because it is also stab boosted for psychic to be able to use them there. So this is really, really exciting for this Pokemon. And then finally, my top Pokemon of the game. It is going to require paid XL candy through raid battles, but is going to be Mewtwo. However, sharing the same psychic category, we could look at Alakazam and we could look at Metagross. But Metagross is not too much further behind in the ranking, but as the power, it is quite far behind Mewtwo. Mewtwo over doubles the output in power with Psystrike, as does Metagross, even though Metagross is only 3 rankings behind it. Regular Mewtwo is even stronger than Mega Metagross as a psychic type counter, which is crazy. However, Mewtwo does also also have a Shadow which is stronger, and even stronger, we have the Mega Mewtwo. So let's talk about the Alakazam first. Mega Alakazam with Psychic is stronger than regular Mewtwo, but it is not stronger than Shadow Mewtwo, but it is a budget counter. However, regular Alakazam is not as strong as Metagross as an all Psychic type attacker, so you kind of gotta weigh in that standpoint. But as a Psychic type Mega, it is really good. But Mewtwo, as a Mega, is the top strongest Pokemon in the game. Not only that, it does get multiple different categories of moves. So you could have a Mewtwo with Psystrike and could have a second move, which you switch between available moves out there, which is going to be Flamethrower for a fire type attacker, Ice Beam for an ice type attacker. It also gets Hyper Beam for a normal attacker. It gets Focus Blast for a fighting type attacker. It gets Thunderbolt for an electric type attacker. Are we done yet? Not really, because it can also get the legacy move of Shadow Ball as well for a ghost type attacker, for a grand total of this Pokemon just being an absolute Swiss Army knife monster in Pokemon Go. So although I have given you all of these different categories, there is one Pokemon that reigns supreme that you would have to pay for, and that is going to be Mewtwo. And I suggest that you guys do that because it is very powerful. Number one, it gets so many movesets, and it is a fire Pokemon, and the future Mega is going to make this Pokemon incredibly strong in this game with Psystrike and Psycho Cut. It does say Confusion, but I prefer Psycho Cut, even if it does say it's a little bit less in the DPS times TDO. So those are going to be the top future bulletproof, budget, always relevant Pokemon to power up, according to me, in Pokemon Go. If there is a Pokemon in here that you think I missed, drop in the comments below and let me know. So thank you guys for tuning in as always. To all my likers, comments, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes their support, subscription, and participation to the next level. I'm going to see you guys out on the next video. Peace.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and rating all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.